listening to ComedySlamRadio.com. From our studios to the world, we bring you the finest in quality entertainment. So pop some popcorn, grab a smooch buddy, and settle in for another fine show from ComedySlamRadio.com.
All right. Excellent. Wonderful. Welcome to Real Life Humor. The Real Life Humor Show with I'm Dave Celestian, and beside me, this character right here is he doesn't know his name. It's
I
Dan McCourt.
made
Right.
the assumption
I'll
that
say
I
it
was
for you.
going to get some sort of formal introduction instead of derogatory comment. So I was waiting for.
I'm Dave Celestian, and this is Mr. Daniel McCourt from Syracuse, New York, who's down here filming a few different comedy shows. Last night we did one, and now we're doing the radio show, and we're really pleased to. We're not really pleased to have you, Dan. This is just BS. I'm not being real.
Dave, I got to point out.
When are you leaving?
Leave? I leave as soon as I can possibly leave. But I got to point out, you live as far south as possible, and you have the manners of somebody in the North Pole.
Really?
Yeah. What happened to Southern hospitality? A decent introduction. Not asking me when I'm leaving. In fact, I'm moving down here as of today. I'm going to be.
Please don't move down here, Dan. Please, you're too pale. You have a beard.
In you and Keisha in the bed.
Great.
And I'll be spooning you every night.
I was just going to say nobody has beards in Florida, but then I look and our sound guy's got a beard, so it's not going to work. People have beards. I don't, but his is trimmed. It looks nice. He looks good. I mean, look at yours is just.
Yeah, it's on.
He's doing it to look, distinguished, and he looks good, and you just have got the given up look. I just don't.
Yeah,
care.
it's the difference between the decision to have facial hair and just complete neglect of hygiene,
Giving up,
and appearance.
Yeah, Dan's giving up. You're looking at basically a walking corpse right here. He's just a matter of time till he's.
It is actually on the topic of facial hair. I was living in New Jersey. Maybe 5 years ago, and I was managing a restaurant, and I decided to shave all of my facial hair besides my mustache. But the weird part about it was every week or so I would shave like a half an inch on one side and let the other side grow longer a half an inch. So I was going to make my mustache move from where it should be all the way back across my face, up my sideburns and back into my hair. And I got about an inch and a half from where I actually was until the owner of the restaurant came in and sent me home and didn't explain why. And I was pretty sure it was because I had a sideways mustache on my face.
Oh, you didn't cut it straight?
No, I shaved it and went back to work the next day.
Nice. Very nice. Well, it looks good now. It really looks natural, actually. Like you look natural, except for the orange stuff you have from the the suntan lotion you put on.
Dave, I haven't used that in over a week.
Dan looks orange because, like you probably see it on camera, because he puts this stuff to make him look tan, but he actually just looks orange. He looks like he's got jaundice and maybe leprosy or something.
Yeah, Dave, I have the complexion of an egg. There's no orange here. If you found me face down in a pool.
You'd think you've been dead for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, you wouldn't even call 911. You'd go straight for the coroner.
Yeah, he doesn't look healthy because probably half of it's his diet. Like when I picked him up at the airport, he said I need to get some food for dinner and breakfast and lunch, and we stopped at the store, Publix, and he got tell him what you got. What did you get for food?
I got
you don't need to embellish it, just tell exactly what you got.
Okay. I got synthetic laboratory produced blueberry muffins.
Which don't really have blueberries in them. They just say blueberry.
They don't even have muffin in it. It's just chemicals in a bag. I got two boxes of those. I got I think a half gallon of ice cream.
Half gallon.
Chocolate
Trinity.
Yeah, 3 different types of chocolate in it. I got cookies with some sort of sugary filling.
Oatmeal pies?
Yeah, oatmeal
Oatmeal
pie
pies.
cookies.
Yep. 12 of those.
And to complete my, my nutritional balance, I got honey bunches of oats
Honey bunches of oats. And then to
with
watch,
flavored almond milk.
yeah, he got almond milk with it because he doesn't want to drink milk because it's not good for you. So he got almond milk with it.
Well, I'm concerned about my figure.
Bigger?
Figure.
Vigor?
Figure with an F, Dave.
Your figure. Okay,
Yeah.
figure. I thought you said your vigor. How
Well,
do you feel? I mean,
that
do you
too.
have a lot of energy eating that way? Because you eat. That's how you eat. That's how Dan eats. He just eats sugar and.
Well, I mean, predominantly my diet is, it's only processed food. I'd say 90% of it is cookies, ice cream. And by the way, I'm not making this up at all. It's
This is really what he
ice
eats.
cream, red velvet cake at work, just sugar and stuff. I do take a multivitamin, which is next to worthless when you're just putting garbage in your body. But I supplement what would be considered energy from nutrition with
Right
a
there.
lot of coffee and pharmaceuticals.
Ephedrine. He takes ephedrine. He just bought 120 pills today.
I did buy 120 pills of
And
ephedrine.
you take what, like 10 a day, or 14 yesterday or something? You took.
Well, I try to keep it to a minimum. I think the daily recommended dosage is under 4 a day, so I make sure not to take more than 16.
Dan, by the way, is 22.
Uh,
He's 22.
yeah, I look 40 though. I'm
58.
I'm 30, and Dave lives in a geriatric complex and fits right in because Dave is a geriatric man.
Well, I'm 45, and I live in a 55 plus Seminole Gardens, 55 and over, and it makes me feel young though because everybody there is like 80, so I feel young again. So if you want to feel young, like move into a retirement village like that, or if you're older, just move into a cemetery. If you're still alive, just live there, and you'll feel young. Everybody else there is dead, so you'll be the liveliest.
I got to tell you, Dave, you're really not far off from death, and it's really not that far away. So, that whole AA mantra that is, you should live by that one day at a time because every day you wake up, you should. That's a blessing because
Oh yeah, it is.
considering your age, you should probably die in your sleep at any point.
I'm 45. Dan thinks I'm like 95. He's older. He looks older than I do. He's 30.
I do look older than you do. Yes, and I recognize that death is not that far off.
I'm going to give you 43. I'm going to say you're going to live to be 43.
Well,
What do you think?
I think there's a high premium and a lot of stock on the body's regenerative processes, and I think if I stop smoking a pack and a half of cigarettes a day and eating nothing but sugary products, if I make that decision, whether it be a week or 6 years from now, I think I could probably turn it around. But I'm not discounting cancer and heart disease and potential diabetes,
Throat cancer
throat cancer.
for several reasons now.
Yeah, I'm not discounting communicable diseases like hepatitis, the papilloma virus.
Well, you have to be sleeping around with people though, and you haven't had sex in how long now?
Let me think. I think it'll be 3 years in March.
3 years in March. Wow. You've had no sex in 3 years.
Well, I mean, I haven't had any penetrative sex. I mean, I've gotten a handful of blowjobs in the past 3 years, but the thing is, I also lost my libido. It could be my diet. I'm not entirely sure, but I've absolutely no interest in getting drunk and pursuing any type of sexual encounters. I mean,
Yeah.
if I met a nice lady and she was interested in something more than fucking for 1 or 2 nights and me worrying about catching something from her because if she's fucking me, she's probably, blowing a bunch of other people.
Mm.
So, I mean, if she's scraping the bottom of the barrel and enticed by me, there's probably a lot of other
There's probably
people
been a
in
few
that
people
context.
behind,
Yeah.
behind you.
So, yeah, no, I do enjoy intimacy, but I've grown to love complete isolation. Uh, I just stay at home and write pretty
Yeah,
much
Dan's
every
pretty
night.
much a hermit. I'm kind of a hermit too, though. I mean, I'm not hanging out with my buddies all the time.
Dave, you live with somebody, you sleep next to somebody that's far from being a hermit.
Well, her and I are hermits. Put it that way. I mean, we kind of keep to ourselves. I'm not like you though. I mean,
Have you guys run out
you're
of
nuts.
conversation?
What's that?
Have you run out of conversation?
We're at the point now where we speak in sentence fragments and one word sentence fragments.
Yeah,
To that
so
point.
if you want dinner, you just yell
Well, let's see.
down the one bedroom hallway to just
Two
food,
words. Yeah, two words.
food,
Food.
now,
Hungry.
food now.
Morning. Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
If you
and
took
then-
all my words that I said during the day, it's probably like 68 words now.
and you guys fix each other a bowl of unhydrated oats and raw asparagus
The
and
juice too. We do the juice. The juice every day.
juice. Yeah. You
Every day.
rip some leaves off a tree, turn it into juice.
I'll juice anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll juice anything.
Then you go running, biking, climb a mountain.
Stretching, meditating.
Even though this state is the flattest goddamn place I've ever seen.
I like it though. It's easy to drive down here. You know what's coming. You can see it 7 hours ahead of time.
Well, yeah.
Not like New York. It's like a roller coaster. Whoa, woo, and around the corner there's a deer in front of you, and there's too much.
Well, it
Too
makes
difficult.
it
Snow and-
interesting, you know?
I'm just tired of that. I'm tired of just cold weather.
I don't know if I could live in a place where I could drive blindfolded and be pretty much roughly in the same condition as every other elderly person on the road.
No, it's nice.
Can't see shit, can't
You
hear
can
shit,
do other stuff when you're
can't
driving.
feel
Though.
shit, can't pass shit.
You can text when you're driving. You can read something. You don't have to totally focus on driving because it's easy. So you can get stuff done when you're driving. Like I'm going to start doing my comedy stuff. I'm bringing my microphone in my car. I'm going to talk into the stereo system and do my sets when I'm driving. So
Yeah, Dave, that's definitely not a step backwards at all. It's moving forward. You went from paid comedian to open mic comedian to talking to yourself audibly in a car. What's the next step? Just talking to buildings and just completely disoriented, walking around.
if anybody wants to call in and say anything, the number is 727-493-2055. 493-2055. There's probably like 3 people listening. They're like, I don't want to call in.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
my dad,
honestly,
my mom, and maybe my stepmother's listening. Maybe, probably not. They probably watch them on TV.
I'm hoping that somebody calls in for no other reason than
I wouldn't even know how to answer it though. Like if they call, I don't know what to do. I have no
yeah.
idea.
There's a lot of buttons here.
Sound guy's watching porn, so he can't help us. So I don't know what to do if somebody called in.
Yeah, but at least
No,
it's
wouldn't worry about that.
verification that somebody's listening to this.
Yeah.
It's not a masturbatory act, a mutual back-to-back masturbatory act in a dimly lit, padded room.
Don't hold your breath. I don't think we're gonna have like 7 phone lines all lighting up at the same time. I don't think it's gonna happen. So how about last night, Dan? Let's talk about last night. Last night we did a show at the infamous Mahuffers on the beach, Indian Shores. Rough crowd.
As a matter of fact, we did, yes.
We did an hour and 10 minutes of comedy.
Dave is doing air quotes.
I just call it. They can see us up there. Actually, he doesn't think we're being filmed right now.
Well, I'm not sure. If
It was an
it
hour and-
actually. Why would you sit here and watch 2 people in a booth? I mean, I'm just assuming if there are 2 people listening, they're probably vacuuming or doing dishes at the same time. And if not, I really feel bad for you if you're just staring at me in a room. I mean, what type of entertainment value is that? I mean,
Well,
it
TV's pretty.
multitasks a little bit. You have some dishes to do. Put us on loud.
Yeah, go ahead and vacuum.
Get some rubber gloves on and sanitize your house.
So Dan's a little bit angry today, and probably because last night's show was.
No, I'm not angry. I just live a cynical life. But
How do you feel about last night, though? Like about how do you feel about how it went? Like in reality, 'cause we did an hour and 10 minutes, him and I, and it was a rough crowd. Some people were heckling the whole time, more or less, and
well, there was one drunk guy who I'm totally fine with engaging people heckling me during my act. But it's the duration is really an issue because it's you really got to deliberate and you got to be on your feet because the option is A, indulge the narcissistic person who came completely ill-equipped and unprepared to say anything and is intoxicated while you have a decently crafted act that you've been working on. So do you engage him and kind of waste time, or do you plow through your material? If you just tell him to shut up, you're addressing him, but
yeah, he'll
it
keep
also
going.
kind of turns the crowd off a little bit. You got to be funny about it. But so I indulged this one guy for minutes on end, and then I had had enough. Not because I'm tired of riffing. I mean, I enjoy riffing for extended periods of time. It's because more or less there were a handful of people listening, and I wanted to do a body of material, and I felt like I gave him just due. And he was drunk to the point of getting thrown out of the bar later.
Yeah,
So I mean,
he was in pretty bad shape. I just tried to not antagonize him too much because you get that, and if you start giving him too much attention, it just escalates, and then they end up paying you to leave the stage or something. So I tried to just
well, this
go easy.
as the story goes, if you do any serious extended period of comedy, you have really bad sets, and as you get better, they're fewer and farther in between, and they don't bother you as much because you've lived through them. But I wouldn't say last night was a bad set. I'm not saying it's a good set or a bad set. I'm just saying we didn't really have a crowd, and a handful of people were paying attention, and then the rest of the people were talking to each other, and the audience, the closest person to the stage, was like 30 feet away. So we're talking to empty tables, and everybody
Yeah, it's
at the
brutal.
bar talking to each other. So there's not really much you can do, but I made a common mistake that I normally do, which is over amplify. If you talk at a normal volume, I think the people who are intending to listen will listen closer. But I over amplified and talk louder, and what ended up happening was I was going to do roughly half an hour of stage time, and I got some bits out. I told the guy to shut up, the drunk guy. I ended up doing more bits. And then I was on my way to leaving stage. And this is the best part, really. It was about 33 minutes into my set. So I was leaving any second. And some guy who wasn't even at the show, he was inside the bar and we were outside, came up to me and said, "I'll give you $50 to stop right now." And you would normally take that as a criticism, but how could somebody criticize you if they're totally uninformed? He was inside the bar and I was outside,
Who
so
was that guy? Was it the guy with a beard?
I don't know, some shithead. I think he had a beard and a ponytail. It was like a fatter, older, uglier, less intelligent version of Steven Seagal, with less credits, more failure, less friends.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Biker looking.
yeah. But I mean, I'm saying all that negative stuff. In retrospect, he gave me $50 to stop, and I had planned on stopping at that point anyway. So I was thrilled. He gave me $50. I stopped. I put it in my pocket, and then I went outside and smoked a cigarette. And out front, and we were doing the show in the back. I went out front and smoked a cigarette, And then I go to the bathroom, and I'm walking back through the bar to talk to Dave and hang out with his Keisha, his girlfriend, and his friends and family. And this this blonde, I don't know, this blonde 38-year-old something or other is like, yeah, my friend gave you that $50 and she wants it back. And yeah, there's no chance in hell I'm giving that back. For one, I need it. For two, I don't know you, which makes me not care about you at all. Um, for three, the gesture of paying somebody to stop doing what they do is insulting to the point of really, it's almost unpalatably insulting. And then to ask for the money back when you do stop is
Yeah, they actually
the
did. They were
shittiest move. And
they were asking for the money back when he left. They were like telling him they wanted the money back, and I got in the middle of it kind of, and I told the lady, just calmed her down a little bit, and I actually gave her $20 of my money to relax, and she wouldn't take it. She wouldn't take the money. Then I finally put it in her purse, but I think I calmed him down. This is what happens there every time, though. Mahofers, this happens is
well, David,
chaos, total
is
chaos.
generous, and I'm assuming lives by the principle that you give it away and it comes back to you in return. And I'm not gonna go on a philosophical rant, but the gesture alone of telling somebody to stop and offering them money is a fucking awful thing, especially when you weren't even listening to the show. Then to ask for the money back makes you less. It makes you more worthless as a human being. If I was going to give him anything back, I would have given her Magic Johnson's raw dick in her ass. She can
Settle
go fuck it.
down. Settle. Let the anger go.
I know they're not listening. If they are, that's what I have to say. But
okay. She's not listening.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it's not an anger thing. It's justified. You don't. You don't insult somebody who's working hard to do something like this. If you don't like it, you can always move to the other side of the bar. You're already fucking inside. You're an asshole. So,
a lot of anger in Dan's
why
voice,
is that not an asshole? That's the worst thing you can do to somebody. It's just
what's that?
To act that way towards somebody.
That's Mahofers, man. That's what you get for a bar. You get just clowns like that. That doesn't surprise me at all.
The thing is, there's no anger. Like, I don't feel bitter or angry. I feel, in my personal opinion, that I'm being honest and accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Being honest warrants a little level of cynicism because human beings are the way they are. I actually, despite being cynical, live a pretty happy and heavily medicated life, but happy.
You might want to take some more ephedrine. They seem to be wearing off. So on that note, tomorrow is going to be my first day of juicing. I am going to juice for 30 days. Because I want to stop drinking alcohol, and this seems to be the only way that I can stop myself from drinking booze is to go on a total 100% juice fast. I just want to clean myself out. I've been eating a lot of sweets, a lot of junk, and it's getting more and more, and my energy's going down. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do 30 days. 30 days of nothing but juice. That's it. Vegetables, fruit, and I guarantee you in 30 days I'll feel a lot better. More mental energy and physical energy and clear-headed.
You live a pretty healthy life, but
it can be healthier
like that. I support entirely. I would like to do the same thing. It's a little out of my price range to live on produce.
You got to find a way. You work at a grocery store, just find a way to get it. Steal some or something.
The grocery store, I work at a grocery store, which implies I'm broke. It doesn't imply that I get free food. I work for a corporation. So,
can you get more hours or something? Can they give you more hours? Like 10 more hours a week and use that towards the juice? That'll be just a night and day transformation. Yeah, I can see you in a month. Your hair will be all short and brush cut. Beard will be gone. You'll have some chick with you. Ripped. Yeah. Smiling. Energetic.
No, I'm happy being alone. I don't need a check on my shoulder. I think no, I'm pretty committed. I bought a juicer roughly 3 years ago and used it pretty frequently up until about a little over a year ago, and then stopped using it entirely because it's a little labor intensive to you know, buy the produce, wash the produce, clean it, cut it up, dice into bits that fit into my
When you can
masticating
just drive to McDonald's and say, "Can I get number 3,
juicer. Yeah, when I can
large?"
get
They've made it. They've made
this,
it that simple now for people
yeah,
who are even lazy to say what you want. Instead of saying like hamburger, you just say 3.
yeah, it's just a
That's it.
number. And if you want the energy of living a healthy, juice-filled life, go eat a Whopper, take a caffeine pill, find some Adderall,
There you go.
sniff a Ritalin, uh, boof a pseudoephedrine or an actual ephedrine. You know, there's ways to feel energetic synthetically and live a completely poor and unhealthy life. The thing is, it's not good for longevity. So, yeah, I definitely feel as though I'm not promoting my particular lifestyle. I just I happen to live it right now. I enjoy it, and I think I'd like to go back to juicing too.
Are you going to move down here? Because we were talking about you moving down here like in a few months. What's your plan?
It's not a certain thing. It's still up in the air, but yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for that. I'd like to move down here to pursue more comedy in a lucrative fashion. I am putting out my first special. I'm filming in March. It's probably going to be released in April, but that's tentative. But I'm going to be filming in March in Binghamton, New York, and I don't expect an immediate response to the special I'm putting out. But the special itself will be sent to talent agencies and comedy clubs, and I'll be doing more work on the business end of things, and that will dictate whether or not I end up taking the move down to Florida.
So you're going to see what happens first after your show.
Yeah, nothing's definite until after March. Right now, I'm pretty focused and preoccupied with just putting out a solid set in March.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm just pummeling away at these open mics. I'm doing some motivational shows at the homeless shelter. I go to the homeless shelters and talk to the homeless people about basically how to get out of the situation they're in. The funny thing is I'm almost homeless myself. Like it could happen real easily that I could actually be in the homeless place and be speaking to the homeless people about how to get out of there. I could be like, "We got to get out of here, guys. We can get out of here. We can do this. I'm one of you now." So I think that'd be cool actually to like for 30 days live with the homeless people so I can really see what their life is like and just move in there and get my own tent and just live like they live, you know? They probably don't eat real healthy. Do you think they juice every day? Can I juice in there?
Oh, without a doubt. I think they're probably juicing organic.
You think they're juicing every day? Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
with
they
a
look
$300
healthy.
masticating juicer
Yeah.
that they roll around in their shopping cart.
No,
Um,
they're probably eating really bad stuff like jail food or something, I'm sure. But it's food and it's like a city there. There's like 400 people living there now and it's a bunch of tents and there's a medical building. There's a cafeteria, there's a library, there's a computer room, there's a big TV room. So I almost want to move in there. It just seems like a sanctuary to not have to worry about anything. You know, just go in there and just kind of have raggy clothes and show up and say, "I just have given up on life," and they let you in. And it seems like,
yeah, and
the
eat
last resort.
soup 3 meals a day. Now, I do have a heart, and I think poverty is a crippling issue, and it's just desperately unfortunate. I mean, I have no reason, why there's no particular reason I'm not homeless right now. If I didn't have a supportive,
Yeah, I mean, you'd be
nurturing
homeless. Yeah, if you didn't.
family.
Yeah, you'd be there too. I mean, the thing is, there's how many millions of people in the United States? 350 million people. Out of all of those people, I think it's very difficult to have 350 million people all living in a house or in a place, not homeless. That's tough. What's the odds of having 350 million people all the time and none of them are homeless? That's hard to do. So you're always going to get some.
Well, statistically, there's always going to be homeless.
Yeah, because
there's
of
always going to
statistics.
be unemployed. There's always going to be
Somebody getting struck by lightning.
Yeah, there's
right?
going to be somebody getting struck by lightning or getting terminal cancer. I mean, statistically, bad things happen, and you can't avoid it. A little footnote to what I was saying earlier is, yeah, I have no reason that I'm not homeless other than I'm surrounded by productive, caring people. But I think
He lives with his parents, in other words.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
An amendment to that would be I don't think I would tolerate homelessness to the point of exercising that lifestyle for any long period of time. I think out of just sheer desperation, I would probably find a minimum wage job somewhere that I'm qualified for and live in the cheapest possible place. I
Or
can
just
find.
like find a desperate girl that wants a boyfriend and become her boyfriend and move in with her. I'm sure you could find that. Even you, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's not as typical for. I don't know. Women don't date down as frequently. I mean, I don't know. That's a whole ball of wax. But yeah, I think it's very hard to just sap off some poor girl for any extended period of time.
It would be difficult to live in a homeless place for a long period of time because some of those people I can tell have been living there a long time. And I asked them when I was there, I said, who wants to get out of this place? And almost everybody raised their hand, but then I said, who wants to stay here? And like 4 or 5 people raised their hand. I'm like, you get good meals. I got a nice place I'm fine here. This place is all right. There's like a few people that just said they want to stay there because they probably just have no desire to even live. So for them there, it's just existing and it's easy to do.
Which is one of the reasons statistically that we're not going to end homelessness. But I think mental health issues play a big part in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In homelessness.
There's not a bunch of CEOs in there with razor sharp minds. They're not all out there mentally, but some of them just ran into some really bad luck. But yeah, there's some mental stuff going on there, some mental issues.
Yeah, I mean, you can't categorize or judge anybody in particular.
You can't.
Mental illness, I think, is rampant and even undiagnosed in some cases. But that's no statement on intellectual capacity. I have met and know intimately people with debilitating schizophrenia who happen to be very intelligent people but live with this disease, and it's just unfortunate. But I think people who are biologically predisposed to balance health and have a high intellectual quotient will find a place for themselves. I think when Bill Gates or Stephen Hawking was born, from that point on, I don't see those people living a homeless life because they were fortunate enough to be born equipped to.
I'm just texting since Dan
survive.
can talk so long. Sometimes I'll just text. Go ahead, I'm just texting something.
No, you want more airtime?
No.
I could take a piss.
I think to get to the bathroom, you got to get like 6 keys, and it's like 400-yard walk down there to get there. So you don't want to go through all that. It'll take you forever. We only have another 4.5 hours left of this show, so it's gonna be wrapping up soon right here. Yeah, there you go. No, we got like another 20 minutes, I think. Can you hold it for 20?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because Dan drank some juice earlier. I made some juice, and he drank it. And his body right now is saying, what the hell is this stuff? Get it out of me. This is foreign. Take it out, please. There's colors in this liquid you just put in my body, and it's not food coloring.
It doesn't know what to do.
It's not food
nutrients.
coloring. If you juiced every day, you probably start getting sick for a little while because it's so much overload of nutrients. It seems like your body would Because if I eat like a Big Mac or fries or something, my stomach does not feel good. But if you ate it, you're probably fine, right?
Oh,
You don't. Your stomach
I
doesn't
eat
hurt.
McDonald's
Yeah,
frequently.
your stomach's
I
fine.
order a lot of it at one period of time, overeat, and feel fine, healthy, and energetic.
Yeah. So if you started juicing every day, you'd probably start like getting sick for a few days because your body would just reject this foreign. It's not used to it, you know,
Well, I
until you
mean,
started feeling better.
I guess that's a possibility. It's hard to say how your body's going to react to a complete juxtaposition of nutrition. Is it like when you go skiing and your foot goes numb, and then before it gets
Put it in
back
hot water
to
and you'd lose it.
98 degrees, it goes through a painful period. Even though it's getting warmer, it's painful because it was numb for a long period of time and you didn't feel anything. And then you regain feeling and it's painful, and then you put on your sneakers, walk around for a little bit, and it's back to normal. It could be a pain period.
Is there any snow up in Syracuse right now to ski, or are people like skiing, or what's going on up there?
Yeah, there's always skiing in Syracuse.
Is there? Even in the summer, right?
uh,
Is there
No.
snow in the no, not in the
no,
summer?
we don't have the altitude for that. You
I
got
thought it
to
was
go
just-
to Mount Hood.
I thought it was
Oregon.
just a frozen tundra year round since I lived there. I grew up there. Well, I didn't grow up. I moved away when I was 8. Actually, I moved out of my parents' house and moved to Florida by myself. By myself when I was 8. I was just tired of living with my parents, so I moved down here and I just tried to make ends meet, working odd jobs. I was a cook for a while. I made a lot of money doing that, cooking crystal meth, of course, in Florida. And no, we all moved down when I was 8, and we came down here. But I go up there. I went up there every summer to live with my grandparents for the summer and ski on Oneida Lake. So no, I remember in the summer it was warm, but there was just a lot of rainy
You
days
water
too.
ski?
Water skied all the time. It was just insane. Tried to barefoot ski.
Slalom?
Didn't work. Slalom, yep.
I barefooted.
I tried to barefoot and I fell forward and almost broke my neck, so I gave up on that. Don't fall forward when you fall when you're barefooting or trying to.
I did it. I didn't do it on the rope behind the boat though.
Oh, you did it on the bar?
Yeah, on the boom.
Yeah, that's cool.
Next to the boat. Did it a handful of times when I was a kid. I'm a snow skier though. I used to be a ski instructor for a long period of time during the winters, and yeah, even if there's not a lot of snow in Syracuse, the resorts are built to survive that. And it's not great skiing, but there's man-made snow.
They got
and
Song Mountain up there. Remember that?
they
Song
have
Mountain?
Song Mountain,
Tully or something like that.
Labrador, Toggenburg, Greek Peak. A lot of pretty much nameless, no-name ski resorts that aren't bad.
Did you ever ride that Alpine slide thing on Song Mountain?
Yeah, I did.
That was pretty
That
fun,
was
man.
So much fun.
I used
Yeah,
to
it's a
just get on
blast.
there and I'd hold it wide open, and then I learned after a while that actually my first time down that you can't, because he said, use the brake, and I'm like, nah, screw that. So there was one dip, I jumped that, I caught air on that, and I landed, and then I hit a big curve, and I went right off the whole thing. I just shot off, and totally just road rash on my elbow, and my uncle wiped out too. I was racing him, and he cut himself open in the forehead with his glasses. I mean, we're just going all the way, And you
Yeah,
can't do that. But that thing is fun, man. God,
It's
a
odd
lot of
that they
fun.
don't build the Alpine slide track to prevent that. You really have to take your well-being into your own
Yeah, you do,
hands.
because you can get hurt pretty bad.
It's not unlike skiing, like that. There's going to be a couple sunny bonos. You're not going to make
Tree.
it out.
Dunk. Yeah.
I actually ski instructed at the resort Heavenly, where Sonny Bono ran into a tree.
Heavenly was in Tahoe or no? No.
Yeah, South Lake Tahoe.
Oh, I skied that
California, on
mountain.
the border in Nevada.
I skied Heavenly.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that was the first mountain I skied. I went down the whole thing. It took me like 25 minutes or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's arguably one of the prettiest, just most gorgeous panoramic views.
The lake is cool
of the
too.
lake.
The lake is pretty amazing. It's really deep, isn't it? It's a deep lake, like 1,100 feet or something. If I
Yeah,
remember.
yes, it is very deep.
I lived a couple hours from there. I lived over in San Jose, California, so we could get over there pretty quick. I think we took a flight.
Yeah, that was another time I kind of isolated myself. I just packed everything up, moved out west, went skiing. Yeah, I did the whole travel the country in a car twice now. And yeah, South Lake Tahoe is one of the prettiest places. It just it seems like the picture of health for some odd reason. It just seems like a really healthy environment to live in.
I just want to get an RV and take off for like 2 years around the U.S. Grab an RV, a nice one, and hit the road. Do some like comedy at cities. You get paid for doing shows, and just go city to city.
Yeah, RV, the poor man's yacht.
Yep, and just cruise around, and because you get stagnant in one place, like just in the same town for years and years, it just gets stagnant. So I'd like to just get in an RV and hit all the different states, grow a big beard. I'd look like Dan and explore, Go to I've never seen the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, yeah, I did too out west. I lived in, I don't even know where to start. Salt Lake City, Park City, Las Vegas, Prescott, Arizona, um, Nantucket when I came back, Syracuse, New York, New Jersey.
There once was a man from Nantucket. There he is. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, that's a common limerick. Nantucket was all right, and then I went back out west and did South Lake Tahoe. Lost all my money in the casino, which I still haven't told my parents about, and then I lived in Portland, Oregon, which
Funny, Dad. Real funny. Dad sending me text messages. He wants me to talk like my grandmother now. Maybe I should just interview with my grandmother's voice. So, Dan, how do you like Syracuse? I mean,
tell him to call into the show.
he's just listening, laughing at us. It's like last night. Just looked at us and laughed at us and said a couple of comments.
Speaking of Portland, there's a show Portlandia.
Speaking of Portland.
Yeah.
Talking about my grandmother. Speaking of Portland, Dan, we did not just do a segue from me to Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, that's just a testament to me having my own agenda. No, I just wanted to make a comment. That was one of the last places I've visited. Portland is more or less like college. You can go out drinking every night and get laid if you want to. It's a young town full of just bizarre health nuts, dumpster diving, riding bikes, eating organically, completely vegan, growing their own vegetables. It's a really bizarre place.
Mm-hmm.
But who was that who texted you,
Got
Barry?
a little phlegm, excuse me.
Was that Barry?
Dad's just texting. I got
Oh.
some phlegm. Granny always had phlegm in her throat. She'd yell at me. She'd be like, Jack, can you, David. She'd call me like everybody else's name but mine. She'd be like, Jack, Tracy, David.
Did she have the spit in the corners of her mouth?
No, she didn't have that. No. She was always eating sweets, though. My grandmother ate a lot of sweets.
Let me guess, Werther's Original?
Original what?
Werther's Original?
Oh, no. She ate a crumb coffee cake in the morning. Entenmann's.
Yeah, those are good.
She would have that with a cup of coffee with a teaspoon of sugar in her coffee.
There you go. That's my life.
And then lunch, she would have a regular, like boiled ham sandwich. There's a lot of boiled ham. And then she would have some cookies or something with tea.
How old was she?
She lived to be 96.
See? And you're criticizing my lifestyle and you're doing enemas, once a week. And I'm eating sugar and she lived in 90-something?
96, yeah. I don't know. I understand how exactly that worked out, but she made it to 96, which is pretty amazing because she had high cholesterol when she was...
Which is why I could possibly be on the right path.
She had high cholesterol when she was in her 50s, I think. She was in her 50s. She had high cholesterol, so I don't really understand how that all works, because she was always eating coconut too, She was always eating something she shouldn't. Every time I saw her, she's like, well, the doctor said I shouldn't eat this. And every single day she was eating something she shouldn't. But then the funny thing is she yelled at my grandfather for drinking every day because he was drinking booze.
Yeah.
And she would rip on him, but he never yelled at her for eating all these sweets. And he should have done that. Like every time she had coffee cake, she'd be like, Katie, you're eating the goddamn cake again. You're drinking too. He should have thrown some stuff back at her, because she was doing some... But she lived to be 95, 96.
She was probably the alpha in the relationship.
He kicked off at 81.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean that's good for a drinker.
81?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other grandfather drank a 12-pack a day for like 50 years every day, and he lived to be 89, almost 90. And he
12
drank,
pack a day.
and he did shots. He'd do a shot of whiskey every day. He was drinking every single day, drink, 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 and he made it. And his mind was totally there up until his
Yeah,
last
it's
day.
genetics.
It's genetics, yeah. It is.
I never had grandparents. They were pretty much all dead by the time I turned 4.
Wow,
So
really? So you never even knew your grandparents? That sucks.
And the lifespan in my lineage is pretty young, 50s, 60s. Not many in their 70s. So
Really?
yeah, I mean, I don't know what I could do to possibly turn it around. It's that whole nature nurture thing.
You could be stuffed like a taxidermist and just be alive forever, just stuffed.
Yeah, yeah. I could get myself stuffed.
Get yourself frozen like Walt Disney, cryogenically frozen, right?
Yeah, did he actually do it? Isn't that
Yeah, he's frozen somewhere right now. He's just sitting there, frozen,
till they
waiting.
figure out a cure for anti-Semitism?
That'd be pretty.
that what-
Yeah, there you go. That'd be pretty. That'd be pretty cool though if they can unfreeze you and bring you back to life.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, to just wake up, because we're in a time of such progress technologically. It's going to be profoundly different. Just progress. It's like an exponential increase in technology, and we're at the beginning of it. Because I had a really fortunate childhood because I grew up at the very tail end, like the last person to grow up without the internet.
That's good for you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the last attention span out of Vietnam.
So you still have an attention span. Everybody else after you is just they're done.
Well, yeah, when 6-year-olds can go on to geriatric male bondage,
Yeah.
black leather sites, and they're desensitized by the time they're 7.
Yeah, that's not a good thing for society. I don't think. I think that's going to be an issue.
Well, it's hard to say what progress is. But no, I'm glad I grew up without that because, I could find entertainment in simpler things. And then, now when I'm overstimulated, it's just like cocaine. It's just that much stronger. Whereas if I grew up with, a flickering box with a keypad on it, with short 30-second clips of compound fractures and snake
You
bites.
don't use the internet much, do you? You're not on the computer much.
No, I don't. I rarely use it.
That's amazing.
I was a huge TV watcher, but that took a backseat when I started writing.
That's good. Good for you. So you don't watch TV much anymore.
No, I mean I'd like to, add that into my regimen a little bit more often, but whereas a couple of years ago I was watching upwards of anywhere from 3 to 8 hours of TV a day.
That's as much as my dad watches. My dad watches like 10 to 12. Right, Dad? He's about 12 to 14 hours he watches. He usually, I think sometimes he keeps it on at night too, just to have it on. So it's probably like 24 hours now he's up to. Just it's going. And he's got a couple TVs too. So it's actually like 48 hours a day he's watching of it. But it's good. It's good for you.
I hate the fact that people bash TV. It's a fantastic medium.
I'm watching The Walking Dead right now. That's kind of cool. I think that's neat.
I haven't watched that.
I've watched season 1, season 2, and now I'm on season 3. And it's fun because the thing with The Walking Dead is they'll kill a main character in there. Like you'll have a main character that's been in there for the whole episode or whole season, and then they hack him one episode you're watching, he's gone. He gets killed.
Yeah,
like,
that's
why I like
of.
it, because it's just realistic. Or kids die in it. There was 2 little kids, one of them died. One of them died, turned into a zombie, and the lady hit it. The little kid with the guy shot her in the head with a gun. The zombie, the girl, and she was like 8 years old. I'm like, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like a Disney flick. It's real life, and this happens. People are zombies, and this is real, right? Aren't zombies real? I think they are.
It just occurred to me. I can't think of the progression, but we're thinking about. I still can't think of the name of the director. Oh, Quentin
Who's that?
Tarantino.
Oh yeah, Quentin Tarantino.
That was who we were thinking of yesterday.
Right.
The cool thing about Pulp Fiction was since it didn't go sequentially, it was kind of diced up into pieces, and there were many huge celebrity main characters. You could literally, and I don't remember the progression, but you could kill off the main character and still have him in the movie later because it's not chronological.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
That's what made it brilliant.
Yeah. Killed off the main characters, but they're still in the movie. That's good. That's good stuff. It's hard for me to focus on movies. I don't watch a lot because my mind is always, when I'm watching a movie, my mind is always like going other places, or I'll look at a scene and I'll go way into that scene in my brain, and then the movie keeps going, and then I come back to reality 8 minutes later, and I've missed 8 minutes of the movie because I was like thinking of something else. I went off on a tangent. So maybe ephedrine helps.
Not taking these.
Yeah, does that help? Like if I was going to watch a movie and took ephedrine, does that help with focus or something?
I think
Concentration.
It does.
This is where
I don't know. Stimulants have different effects on different people. But
this is where I get hooked on ephedrine, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I support it. I mean, I'm here to bring down people with me. You know, I'm not going alone. I don't know. Stimulants have different effects. I find it productive for writing, although a lot of my writing is tangential. I seem to focus pretty well. And I've no trouble watching a movie, although I don't do it much.
I think the juicing would help you a lot. Juicing, even if you took ephedrine while juicing, I think it still would be beneficial for you, and I think you'd get a lot of focus. So I would recommend juicing and ephedrine if you can pull that off. So for energy, you'll have a lot of energy because you're not going to be digesting food anymore. There's no more digestion going on.
What's the moral of this radio program then?
Oh, the moral is there's no moral. We're trying to have no moral at all. No theme.
No moral, no thesis statement.
No, there's no wrapping it up with this or that. It just gets cut off all of a sudden.
It's just audible synapses for an hour no point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
my dad's texted me to bring the first guest on, and I'm like,
the first guest.
He is a guest right there, Dad. He's looking at you right now. Do you have anything to say to Dad? Or do you even know him?
I don't know. I met him briefly last night, I think.
Did you talk to him last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I was busy trying to avoid paying that $50 back.
He's the one that looks like Einstein's dad is the only way I could say. Like he looks like.
That's what your father looks like?
Yeah, he looks like Einstein's grandfather, I'd say, like grandfather. Because Einstein was what, like 50s, 60s? Dad looks like his
So does he have a lot of dandruff on his black shirt?
No, he's just got a lot of white hair. He's got very white hair. His hair turned gray like 20 years ago. I think I turned it gray, and then he had another kid, my sister, who I think turned his hair from gray to white now. It's like Snow White. Because people think he's an old lady. When he's walking from behind, they'll be like, "Excuse me, ma'am," and he's like, "Ah!"
Does that actually happen to him?
Yeah, he's been mistaken for an old lady a couple of times, so it's a little bit weird. I shouldn't be talking about this right now. But we got another 40 seconds, and then we're going to be going off the air. So Dan will be flying back to Syracuse tomorrow up to the frozen tundra to continue his comedy career. I'll be down here getting murdered on the stages like last night.
Getting kicked out of comedy
clubs like the week before. But you know what? At least I'm doing the comedy my way instead of selling out and just being another one-liner comedian, you know? So my computer today... Well, even do it.
Maybe you'll get lucky and somebody will pay you to quit, like a handsome sum.
That was good. If I got a check for $1 million, I would just shut up right now and never talk again. On stages, at least. You know? That's it.
Is that it?
I guess is that it? How do we know when we're getting wrapped up? Whatever. We can wrap it up whenever. We'll be back in a week, but
closing statements.
Sans Dan, closing statements. Let's just make it a good week. It's Monday now. Let's make it a good week. Happy MLK Day. And let's be productive for the next 7 days and make some stuff happen. Okay?
You know, it's a week ending, but I'll accept it. I guess it's your program.
All right. See you guys. Take it easy.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
What was that? I'll tell you what that was. That was another fine show from ComedySlamRadio.com, where we put the .com